In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress analytics plugin called Active Analytics. Before we poke around the website here a bit and then look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products and services that we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website, product, and services for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this or other types of videos created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free lifetime partner membership. And we thank Get Butterfly, which is the team behind the Active Analytics plugin, for being a partner. So if you go over to the InfluenceWP website, find the deal section, do a search for Active Analytics, and then grab that exclusive deal if you like what you see in this video. All right, let's go ahead and poke around the website. The root domain is getbutterfly.com. They have a lot of plugins for you to check out. Once you're there, go up in the header area and nav area under WordPress plugins, and then go to Active Analytics. That's the fastest way I can tell you to get to the plugin. Okay. All right. I'm just going to quickly run through the features, and then we're going to look at see if they have an about page, check out documentation and anything else that catches my eye, and then we'll jump over and try this out together. All right, let me find the features here. So I'm just going to rattle them off real quick. Key Active Analytics features: asynchronous, non-blocking, JavaScript-based tracking, lazy loading, works in Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, and Opera, so the major browsers. Tracks users, page views, devices, mobile versus desktop, as well as refers. Displays a live feed of page views and refers. Broken down top posts and top pages, so your top pieces of content are going to be broken down into the top performers. Data retention options, page view tracking, migration options. Does not conflict with caching plugins, performance plugins, or Cloudflare. And as it shows here in the blue box, because there's no cookies involved, it's fully compliant with GDPR, CCPA, and PECR. Down here, we see one more bulleted list of features. First-party tracking without any third-party cookies. So you can get rid of that cookie banner that you possibly have needed to fall in line with regulations. You don't need that any longer if you use this solution. Ad blocker resistant, user journey merging, built for performance, one-click installation, and no setup required. All right, sounds good. Let's check out the changelog. So at first glance, it does look like a super active changelog. The only problem is I'm not seeing any dates here to verify that. I always recommend putting dates with the version number so we can see when this was last updated. Maybe we need to roll back. There's all kinds of different reasons why you need to have dates in your changelog. So there's a bit of feedback for the vendor there. Let's see, let's scroll down into the footer. Okay, let's check out the about page. I need to find some documentation. Let's go back up to the header area. Okay, maybe it's over here. How about support? Not seeing any documentation. All right, let's expand support. There we go. All right, let's go into the documentation. First, we'll tackle the about page, which I'm happy to see that there's an about page. Cyprian is the founder who I've spoken to numerous times. Very generous, very kind, very responsive, all those good things. You can find him on X Twitter if you want to see what he looks like, see his avatar over there. Other than that, great about page. Over 25 years of experience in the web industry. So highly skilled, highly knowledgeable. Over here on the documentation, we see some good documentation. So I don't see any reason to think this isn't going to cover us, but we will find out. I mean, no, it actually says no setup required, and just it's simple, right? So let's see if that's true. I'm going to pull that over to my other screen just in case we need it. Other than that, let's go ahead and get to checking this out. I've got a test WordPress site here, just a couple of plugins installed. Active Analytics is installed. We're going to activate it together right now, just in case it triggers something. Okay, it didn't. Let's go into settings. And right off the bat, we are in the dashboard tab. So we see a breakdown of visitors and page views. Scrolling up a bit further, we see who is currently online on our site, visiting our site, and who has visited in the last 30 minutes. So we have no stats right now because we literally just turned the plugin on. So I'm going to pull up my browser and my other screen, and I'm just going to refresh the home page a couple of times. Let's refresh our dashboard. There we go. So we start to see, no, I thought I saw something trigger. Guess not. Let's wait just a second. Let me bounce around. Let me go from a page and then back to the home page and see if that triggers anything. There we go. Okay. So one unique user online, one unique user in the last 30 minutes. And then we see visitors and page views and sessions. So how long? So if we hover over this tooltip, what's it say here? Page views per session. Okay. And so then we see a couple of charts that you can look at. There's just not enough traffic, not enough visits right now for us to make this chart really worth looking at. But you do see here that it starts when you hover over certain periods that breaks down some data for you. What do we have here? Traffic acquisition. So the top refers, like where are they coming from when they're visiting your site? So all-time stats, last 30 days, and today's stats. Channel performance. So this would have to do with like actions taken on your site, for example, like a search box might work. And the only way that I know that in particular on this, that this is part of this site, this plugin, is because I read the documentation briefly, and there is a search feature. So what I'm going to do, let's add a search form to our forms page here. So I'm just going to add a block and do the search block. There we go. And we're just going to leave everything as is, save. Let's visit that search form here on our homepage, refresh. All right, let me see what happened here. Oh, sorry, we did the forms page, not the homepage. All right, here we go. Here's our forms. So I'm just going to do a search. We will do a search for, let's see, Ollie. We're using the Ollie theme, so I'll do a search for Ollie. No results. Okay, that didn't expect there to be any. Let's go to the blog. Maybe we can pull up a result there. Hello world. There we go. Let's do that. Let's go hello. There we go. So that got one result or some results. Let's go back into our dashboard and refresh it. Let's go back to, where were we? Oh yeah, we were down here. So on the dashboard, we are over in channel performance. And now we see that site search was performed. And there we go. So that is now doing stuff. Here we have the latest hits, the last hits, and the breakdown of the refers. That's cool. Okay, let's go over to engagement. So here's that top content that we talked about earlier. Today's, this month, all time. So we see direct links, how many page views. Down here we have top days unique visitors. We just activated the plugin, so there's not much to see here, but we see today's date. Let's go over to traffic. This is a detailed view of each of your website's public post types. See below: post, pages, media, and products. Okay, let's choose content. Let's check out our forms page since we've been active on that, and click go. All right, so we do have activity here once we scroll down. So over here on the right-hand side, we see that graph start to go up. If we hover over it, we see some stats. Again, this isn't a sexy graph because we literally don't have any traffic right now. So that is what it is. That will look much better over time. All right, let's go to page views. This is an overview of your top posts and pages based on page view counts. Okay. We did not start over in the general settings because remember at the beginning of the video, it says no setup required. So while that is true, it looks like maybe we need to do something here to trigger this. So let's go over to general settings. Display features. All right, that doesn't sound like that's it. Analytics features, collect data about logged in users. No. Count page view. I'm just going to do a search for the word page views. Page views. Okay, here we go. Page views. Count page views is custom post meta key. Page view count. Use this. Okay, I wouldn't know what to change that to personally. So I'm just going to go with this one. That's the only one left. Process of elimination. Save our changes. Let's go back into page views. Refresh. Let's go back to our website and just refresh the homepage a couple of times. Refresh. There we go. Okay, very cool. So here's our top pages. I have not gone into any posts. Let's go ahead and go into a post on my other screen because I'm not logged in. Remember this setting right here, we are not tracking logged in users. So I visited the post on my other screen. Let's go back to page views. There we go. So that's now tracking our top posts. Search. Oh, that's cool. So what this is, remember we ran that search, right, on that form for hello, and then we did Ollie and then hello. So it's tracking that. And that's what also populates over here in the dashboard under channels, because that is a search box is a form of a channel. Okay. So back over in search, let's say that your site's been running for a while, then you could come in here and see who's searching for what, and even filter by the dates. Here's the results. So we see that on my first search I did for Ollie, it had 0 results. When I did a search for hello, it returned 1 result. And it shows you the source and the date that it was ran. So that's cool. Okay, internal links, we're not going to look at this. I had a note from the vendor. I always like to ask vendors before I do a video, is there anything of special note that I should, should I stay away from something? Should I, whatever, highlight something? This is being completely refactored. So we are going to skip this particular tab. So the good news is the Cyprian is putting in QT, quality time, in this particular feature. Okay, let's go over to stats. This is an overview of the Active Analytics database size. Okay, so over time you can see how large your database is growing as far as your analytics go. Let's go to general settings. Display features. Display an overview widget on the dashboard. Okay. So maybe this is talking about, go back to our main WordPress dashboard. Maybe it's here. I typically hide everything here personally, but let's see. Let's see if that's what this is. Let's go here. Let's toggle this on. It looks like we have some defaults: number of top refers, number of last hits, number of internal links. Okay, so these do say 0, but it says I'm assuming that's still the default of 10. Let's try it out. Okay, no. Okay, there we go. Let's just go 10 on those, 10 on those, and we'll skip the internal links because remember, that's being refactored. Okay, there we go. Save changes. Now let's go see if we get something pop up in here. There we go. Super, super cool. Let's see what happens when we click view all stats. So that brings us over to Active Analytics. Okay. So that is that. Moving on down, analytics features. Collecting data about logged in users. That's just a choice that you need to make there. Enable spy module. I'm not really sure what that does. Let me do a really quick search in their documentation. Spy module. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Cyprian, if you're watching this, maybe I can add something to the description of the video. Not required, but if you want me to say something about what spy module is. Down here, we've got that page views meta key. We're going to skip that. I'm not really quite sure what to do with that. Something tells me that's more of a developer thing. So we won't get into that. And then for the overviews, we can choose the overviews that we want. So time periods, in other words. Okay. Chart.js source. Again, this is like another developer thing. The only thing I'll say is because typically when you see a CDN, the word CD, the letter CDN involved, you're talking about performance. So maybe you can serve this from the edge, deliver that JavaScript from the edge versus locally on your WordPress install. And then data retention, automatically delete visits older than 1 year by default. You can say never delete, which I don't recommend you do that. But yeah, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As he says, simple, hardly, if any, no setup whatsoever. It just works. A lot of times with analytics, they're overly complex. They try to do too much. They slow down your site. This gets the job done. Very lightweight, gives you all the important stuff. One feature request I would have right off the bat is the data retention. Maybe give the ability to just wipe it out, start over, start fresh. A very simple button like clear the data, that sort of thing. And then also maybe a setting to clean up the plugin data after the plugin is removed. That would be another thing, a cool feature. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, go over to InfluenceWP, find the deal section, and grab that deal for active analytics. It's already priced extremely well. It's very accessible to most, if not all, people out there in WordPress land. Grab that exclusive deal on top of it, and you got a slam dunk active. You have a slam dunk analytics solution with active analytics. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.